What's going on, guys? My name is Rygo and welcome back to the YouTube channel. So today we're gonna do a video on fins. Big fins, little fins, no fins. What are the pros and cons of each? What should you consider? And what size fins should you be riding? All right, let's start with big fins. So who uses big fins? Usually big air riders who are looking for the most pop out of their riding. And what you get with big fins is a very locked in track-like feel on the board, and they're not very playful. So you're really putting yourself in that category where you're going for the most air possible, the biggest pop possible, and trying to hold down power. And then they're really efficient for going upwind as well. So for example, freestyle riders, when I'm riding in the Keys, I actually ride in really light wind, so I will sometimes go and put really big fins on my board to give myself a little extra upwind drive and a little bit of extra pop in the light wind. So big fins, they're not actually just for big air riders, they're also really useful for riders who are riding in light wind. If you're a new rider, it's going to make things so much easier for you because you're going to have to not work as hard to get that edging. Now, when it comes to smaller fins, these are usually used by freestyle riders, wake style riders, people who are doing unhook tricks, and they're more playful. So you don't get the same pop that you would from a really big fin, but you can actually move the board on the water. You're not just fixed in on a track. When you're trying passes and things like that, there's more room for error. That's actually another thing to consider with big boards is sometimes, even back when I was testing a lot of gear, sometimes like after a kite loop or after a jump, you come down and touch down on a board, and if you're not going downwind enough, those big fins can actually trip you up. If you're in boots, you're catching an edge. If you're in foot straps, you're getting popped out of the board. Whereas using smaller, medium to smaller fins were way more forgiving, way more fun to ride, and I also thought that they lended to a little bit more style. So if you're a big air rider, you're likely going to want to use big fins, but it might not be a terrible idea to use smaller fins, because then it's going to actually force you to learn how to use your edge a little bit better. So you're going to be more efficient at your riding, you're going to get more efficient at your load and pop, and also you're going to have more forgiving landings when you're really lit. So there are some advantages. Now, with all that said, going on to no fins. So no fins, it's really more of a training tool unless you're a dedicated park rider where you're grinding obstacles. Then yeah, it's mandatory to take your fins off. But for everybody else, riding finless, it's one of those things, it's one of those secrets in our sport where if you learn how to load and pop without any fins, you're going to be one of the best riders out there when you go back and put your fins on, because you're going to know how to use the edge of your board perfectly. You're going to know how to get the most energy transfer when you're going fast, you're leaning back and you're loading that rail up. You're going to be so efficient that when you go back to putting on medium fins and big fins, you're probably going to have the best jumps of your life. Or if you're a freestyle rider, you're going to load and pop so much harder. And to be honest with you, riding finless is super fun. So sometimes after I do a good bit of kite park, I might be a little bit lazy and I might not put the fins back on my board for a little while, and it kind of hurts my pop, I suppose, but I have a lot of fun with the board. The board's going to feel like a snowboard. It's very skatey on the water, very playful, and I do really enjoy it. And I suppose it's something that I think everybody should try at one time or another. Even if you're a big air rider, go out there and just spend a few sessions. Take 2 months to go ride finless and then put your fins back on the board and just see how much better of a rider you are. But also, if you're a freestyle rider, try riding finless, because you're gonna have less edge catches, more forgiveness when you're learning to pass that bar, and you're gonna have a lot more fun riding. So if you guys got anything to add to this video, drop it in the comments. If you got any questions, let me know. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I will catch you later.